Welcome back to Bat Fridays here on One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering the first story in Batman #1, Batman Makes a Deadline. It's a perfectly competent story that I don't actually have a lot to say about it. It's not bad, nor is it good. I'm not particularly enthused about it, but I think it's a perfectly workable throwaway Batman story that's really helped by the artwork. I think this might have some of the best artwork in any comic I've read doing either one of these series covering Superman or Batman. The art in here looks actually better than the 1950s, the mid 50s comics I'm covering in Superman. Whenever I get back to those. Helped a bit by the DC app. I'm not going to say its whole name because I forget it and mess it up all the time, and it's ridiculous. But I think it got cleaned up for that. This is actually the first issue of Batman, or any Batman comic done by longtime Batman artist Dick Sprang. We'll leave that name alone. Who does quite a few issues. Like I said, he's on there for a long time, and man, does his art look really unique. There are scenes in here where there's actually no panel specifically. It has no borders. It's not contained, and there's a lot of white space. But man, does it just pop. It doesn't look like anything else I've read from that time. It honestly could work really well in the 70s. It could even work really well now. It's a very clear, concise, and simple looking art. And it's nice. It's nicely expanded. As I've always said, Batman looks great when it's depicting action compared to, say, Superman. There's a lot of action in it. It flows really well, and I can tell what's happening. And it looks difficult for Batman to pull off. And here it has just a little more fun at depicting it, which I enjoy. And if the story was a little better, I'd be like bragging about this way more. So essentially, a guy by the name of Larry Spade, though they do make a mistake in the first panel, they refer to him as Slade, which I only remember and noticed because I was thinking of Deathstroke. Well, the Teen Titans arch nemesis, but he's really Dick Grayson's arch nemesis, which was always weird to me when Ben Affleck was going to make that Batman movie and Deathstroke was going to be the villain. I know people like Deathstroke. He's kind of cool, and having him be like this ninja fighting Batman, and they're both like really great at martial arts and technicians, makes sense on paper, but he is Dick Grayson's arch nemesis. That is hilarious, having Batman fight Robin's arch nemesis. It feels like a massive step down for him. So Spade has some sort of story he's working on. Mobsters grab him, Batman follows. It turns out it's all about this guy named Big Ben Rollins. Hell, I even like that name for a simple racketeer, seeing that most of them are named like Legs or something. Big Ben Rollins stands out. I don't want to say unique again. It is not like the other ways they've been naming mobsters at the time, the generic mobster names. I've already mentioned Legs. There was already a Face. He also kind of looks like a Dick Tracy villain, just not that far. More like an Edward G. Robinson type. But he's been forcing store owners to sign insurance claims and then blowing them up with grenades to collect on them. One little flaw in this plan. What insurance company pays out for grenade explosions? I'm having a hell of a time to get my dental insurance to cover my root canal. It only will cover the anesthesia, which is wild. But this insurance claim is going to cover stores being blown up and the guy being killed by grenades to a known mobster? I think the insurance investigator might be on his payroll. And there's some fun with Batman and Robin having escape and using toys to fight. This is where we have that white space fight where with like large fire engine toys. Until Batman and Robin eventually like confront him. There's a fight at the newspaper, which is actually not the Gotham Gazette. It is the Gotham Graphic, which once again, a very unique name for something. I wish I knew who wrote this issue. I looked it up, but all I could find was the information on the artist, which was Dick Sprang, who did the pencils, and ink, and cover. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know quite if it is a Bill Finger or maybe a Gardner Fox. I would lean more Gardner Fox than Finger. Finger has a very specific way of writing. I would say early on in the story it feels more like Finger, but like the second half of the story where it's really getting action heavy reads more like a Gardner Fox, but it could be many other writers until the story eventually gets out and Batman sends him away. I will point out Batman makes a joke about this guy dying in prison. Like he wants to send him to the electric chair, which feels not particularly very Batman with his like sort of pro-murdering, as long as he's not the one actively doing it. But they do in fact get sentenced to death. We see that they are put to death by the newspaper headline at the end. I don't know how I feel about Batman just happily sending people to their death. That's not the Batman I love. Though this is still the Golden Age Batman. He once used a gun to kill some vampires, a thing I will never forget. But you can see I've been kind of dancing around the actual story. It's him confronting a mobster who's going to blow people up with grenades. It's not terrible, it's just not particularly Batman-y. Okay, that is it from Batman issue 19, Batman Makes Deadline. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon, and get notifications when a new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Mondays and Thursdays I cover a Superman story or a Superboy story in their different comics, currently in the 50s for both of them. Please join us next time, same Bat Day, same comic book channel. Have a great day.